small things each of us can do. At LawSikho, at Project Maverick, we aim at providing almost free training for law aspirant for all law entrance examination. In this endeavor of us, co-learners, we have been coming up with these live interactive sessions on subjects which are asked in law entrance examination. Today, we have with us Dhwani Gupta, who is an English grammar specialist, and she has been taking English language sessions. And her session have received tremendous response, and kids have told me that their marks are improving in the section of English. In today's session, she will be dealing with reading comprehension and preposition, a very tricky topic. Preposition, I must tell you. From school days, we have been feeling to understand what to answer. The teachers always asking, "Are you suffering from fever, with fever, or something like that?" And to the confusion, "Are you on train, in train, etc., etc." Hope we learn a lot about prepositions and understand how to solve reading comprehension out of this session. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Harsh. Hello, everybody. My name is Dhwani Gupta. In today's session, we are going to solve a reading comprehension, and we are going to study a topic of prepositions. So like always, let's start with an RC. Let's solve one passage. So let's get started. Mountaineering is now looked upon as the king of sports, but men have lived amongst the mountains since prehistoric times, and in some parts of the world, as in the Andes and Himalayas, difficult mountain journeys have inevitably been part of their everyday life. However, some of the peaks were easily accessible from most of the cities of Europe. So in this passage, the writer is saying that now mountaineering is being considered as the king of sports because of the amount of adventure involved in it. And it is being said that since prehistoric times, a lot of people, a lot of men have been living amongst the mountains. So difficult mountain journeys have always been a part of their everyday life. So even some of the peaks are easily accessible. People can easily reach them from most of the cities in Europe. It is quite interesting that while modern mountaineers prefer difficult routes for the greater enjoyment of sport, the early climbers looked for the easiest ones, for the summit was the prize they all set their eyes on. Popular interest in mountaineering increased considerably after the ascent of the alpine peak of Matterhorn in 1865 and Edward Whymper's dramatic account of the climb and fatal accident which occurred during the descent. So the writer is saying that it is very interesting to note that in today's time, the modern mountaineers always want to take difficult routes when they are climbing a mountain, because they think that to take difficult path, it is more enjoyable. The journey is more enjoyable. Whereas in the contrary, the early climbers always preferred the easy routes, the easier ways, because for them to reach the peak, to reach the summit was their only motive, their only purpose, their only prize was that they want to reach the peak. So it has also been said that the interest in mountaineering has been increased after the climb of the alpine peak of Matterhorn in 1865, and also the dramatic climb and fatal accident which occurred during the descent by Edward Whymper. So it is also said that in the risky sport of mountaineering, the element of competition between either individuals or teams is totally absent. Rather, one can say that competition is between team and peak themselves. The individuals making up a party must climb together as a team, for they depend upon one another for their safety. So further in the passage, it is written that mountaineering is a very risky sport. So in this sport, there is no competition between people, between individuals or between teams. Rather, a lot of people say that it is basically a competition between the team and the peak, between the mountain peak. So in mountaineering, individuals should always help each other, should always team up, so that which is very important for their own safety. Mountaineering can be dangerous unless reasonable precautions are taken. However, the majority of fatal accidents happen to parties which are inexperienced or not properly equipped. तो अब इसमें ये लिखा है कि जो माउंटेनियरिंग है, it is very interesting, बहुत interesting होती है, बहुत adventurous होती है, but it can be very dangerous until and unless reasonable precautions are not taken. So basically जो सबसे ज़्यादा accidents mountaineering में तब होते हैं when people lack experience or they do not have proper equipments. So it is very important to be experienced and have proper equipments while you're going on mountaineering. Since many accidents are caused by bad weather, the safe climber is the man who knows it when it is time to turn back, however tempting it may be, to press on and try to reach the summit. So a lot of accidents which take place during climbing is because of bad weather. So a safe climber is considered, वो इंसान एक safe climber माना जाता है, who knows which is the correct time to turn back, no matter how tempting, how provoking to reach the peak it gets. कितना भी मन करे कि आगे जाना है, peak तक पहुंचना है, but a smart climber, a safe climber is the man who knows when it is the right time to come back. So this was the passage, very easy passage. Now it's time for the questions. Let's do it. The first question is, mountaineering is different from other sports because. तो अभी सबसे important और पहला question है कि mountaineering दूसरे sports से किस तरह से different है. What is the difference? सबसे important difference क्या है mountaineering में और दूसरे sports में? I'm going to read out the options first. Option A is, it can be fatal. B, it is risky and dangerous. C, there is no competition between individuals. D, it is most thrilling and exciting. So let's see what is the first option. It can be fatal. So you have seen that in the passage also, a lot of time the word fatal has been written. Fatal means something which is very deadly, which can cause death, which can be very bad. So actually mountaineering is fatal because एक गलती आपकी can lead to death. So this is a very in fact it should be, मतलब जो inexperienced लोग होते हैं वो तो कर ही नहीं सकते mountaineering. It is not like any other sport कि आपने बस करना शुरू कर दिया. It needs a lot of practice, it needs a lot of dedication, experience and proper equipment also. So yes, option A is the correct answer, but we will read the other options also. It is risky and dangerous. So a lot of sports are risky and dangerous. See, अब ये जो first और A और B option है, ये दोनों बहुत confusing है. See, when you are reading a passage, तो risky और dangerous पे भी कई बार लोग लगा देते हैं कि ये भी हो सकता है क्योंकि mountaineering risky और dangerous भी तो होता है. But comprehensions में, when you see the word which is kept on repeating, फैटल कई बार यूज हुआ है, तो जो सबसे आपका क्लोजेस्ट आंसर होता है वही करेक्ट होता है. सो रिस्की एंड डेंजरस उस पूरे क्राइटेरिया को बस कवर नहीं करते. दैट इज व्हाई बी इज नॉट द करेक्ट आंसर. सी, देयर इज नो कंपटीशन बिटवीन इंडिविजुअल्स. Oh yeah, there is no competition between individuals, but even this does not complete the entire criteria. It is most thrilling and exciting. So a lot of sports are thrilling and exciting. So this is not the correct answer. The correct answer is option A. It can be fatal. Next is, the second question is, people living in the Andes and the Himalayas made mountain journeys because. क्यों जो एंडस और हिमालयाज में लोग रहते थे वो लोग क्यों माउंटेन जर्नीज करते थे? They lived in prehistoric times. Of the challenge offered by a difficult journey, it was a kind of sport. They had to undertake them in their day-to-day life. So the first option is, they lived in prehistoric times. Yeah, this is written in prehistoric time. People used to live amongst the mountains. They used to live in Andes and Himalayas. But this doesn't give us the reason कि क्यों वो लोग mountain journeys करते थे. Second, of the challenge offered by a difficult journey, even this does not cover the answer. It was a kind of sport. उस time पे तो sport और ये सब चीजें इस तरह से popularized ही नहीं थी. So even C is not the correct answer. D, they had to undertake them in their day-to-day life. Yes, this is the correct answer. Even it is written in the passage also कि people living in mountains, amongst the mountains in the Andes and the Himalayas have to take difficult mountain journeys because they were inevitably the part of their daily life. So yes, this is the correct answer. वो लोग चाहे नहीं चाहे because वो लोग जिन जगहों पे रहते हैं, it is necessary for them, it is compulsory to them, and वो उनकी day to day life का ही part है. So option D is the correct answer. The next question is, mountaineers climb as a team because. क्यों mountaineers को एक टीम की तरह क्लाइम करना चाहिए? What could be possibly the reason? First, there is no competition among them. तो ये कोई रीजन नहीं है कि इसी वजह से उन लोग को साथ में क्लाइम करना चाहिए क्योंकि उनका कोई कंपटीशन नहीं है. नो, दिस इज नॉट द करेक्ट आंसर. बी, द कंपटीशन इज बिटवीन द टीम एंड द पीक. नो, इवन दिस इज नॉट द करेक्ट आंसर. द हाइट इज टू मच फॉर वन इंडिविजुअल. हाइट तो माउंटेन है तो हाइट तो होगी. तो अगर कोई माउंटेनियरिंग कर रहा है, दैट मीन्स उसको हाइट पे चढ़ना है, उसे हाइट पे जाना है. सो दिस इज टोटली इररेलेवेंट. D, they have to rely on each other for safety. Yes, they should climb as a team, they should work as a team, they should go together as a team, जिससे कि वो एक दूसरे का सपोर्ट बन सके उनकी अपनी सेफ्टी के लिए, उनके अपने प्रिकॉशन के लिए. इट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर देम टू क्लाइंब एज अ टीम. सो ऑप्शन डी इज द करेक्ट आंसर. नेक्स्ट, द समिट was the prize they all set their eyes on. In the context of the passage, this means, so what does this line mean? The summit was the prize they all set their eyes on. इस phrase का क्या मतलब है? First, they kept their eyes steadily on reaching the peak. B, reaching the top was their exclusive concern. C, they chose a route from which they could see the summit clearly. D, they cared for nothing but the prize of reaching the summit. So now let's see what's the first option is saying. They kept their eyes steadily on reaching the peak. सिर्फ eyes रखने से, सिर्फ सोचने से कि हमें वहां जाना है, वो लोग वहां पहुंच नहीं जाएंगे. So this line obviously doesn't mean कि वो सिर्फ देख रहे थे उन माउंटेन पीक्स को कि पहुंच जाएं. So this is wrong. Option B is reaching the top was their exclusive concern. Yes, this is the correct answer because the summit was the prize they all set their eyes on. सिर्फ पीक पे पहुंचना, सिर्फ टॉप पे पहुंचना, समिट पे पहुंचना ही उनका एक्सक्लूसिव कंसर्न था. बिकॉज जिस कंटेक्स्ट में ये लाइन लिखी है कि जो अर्ली माउंटेनियर्स थे वो लोग इजी रूट्स लेना चाहते थे बिकॉज उनके लिए कितना इंजॉयबल जर्नी, रूट कितना इंजॉयबल है ये सोचना इतना जरूरी नहीं था जितना जरूरी उनके लिए सिर्फ they all they wanted was to just reach the peak. Okay, so option B is the correct answer. They chose a route from which they could see the summit clearly. No, this is not the correct answer. They cared for nothing but the prize of reaching the summit. So no, even this is not the correct answer. Option B, answer B is the correct answer. Next question is, to press on in the last sentence means. So press on का क्या मतलब होता है? First, to force upon others, to struggle in a forceful manner, to continue in a determined manner, to work fearlessly. So let's see what's the first option. To force upon others. कि बहुत किसी पे बहुत प्रेशर डालो, फोर्स करो. No. To press on का मतलब बिल्कुल फोर्स करना नहीं होता. So no. To struggle in a forceful manner, किसी चीज पे struggle करना. No. To continue in a determined manner. Yes, this is the correct answer because in the last sentence it is written that कि safe climber वही है जिसे पता है कि which is the correct time to return back. No matter कितना भी tempting और किसी का कितना भी मन करे कि वो continue करता ही जाए और peak पे पहुंच जाए. So to press on का meaning होता है to continue in a determined manner. Option D, to work fearlessly. This is absolutely wrong. So right answer is option C, to continue in a determined manner. All right. So the next question is, in how many instances should the definite article the be used in the italicized sentence to make it grammatically correct without altering it in any other way? अब I'll go back to the passage. In the passage there is one line जो कि italics में लिखी हुई है, and you have to tell कि उसमें कहाँ कहाँ द आना चाहिए, means कितनी बार द आएगा. So this is the let's go back to the passage. So यहाँ पे highlighted italics में लिखा हुआ है. So rather one can say that competition is between team and peak themselves. So the correct answer is rather one can say that the competition is between the team and the peak themselves. So in जगहों पे इसीलिए द आएगा because they are talking about a definite competition, a specific competition in between the team, between specific team and peak themselves. That is why इसमें द आएगा. So rather one can say that the competition is between the team and the peak themselves. So three times are option C is the correct answer. 3 times is the correct answer. Next is choose the correct preposition in place of one from the following. Mountaineering is now looked dash as a king of sports. So what will be the correct answer? Look for is something when you want to search something or when you want to examine something. So no. Looked upon is when you consider something, when you regard something. So yes, in the first sentence it was written that mountaineering is regarded as the king of sports because of the amount of adventure involved in it. So option B is the correct answer. Let's read other options also. Look ahead means to think about the future, to plan the future. Look after is to take care of someone or make sure that someone is safe. So option B is the correct answer in context of the passage. So these were the question and answers. हमारी RC खत्म होती है यहाँ के लिए. But now let's talk about a new topic which is prepositions. हम लोग बचपन से we have been learning, we have been solving a lot of sentences on prepositions. And CLAT में because of the new pattern when you are getting only RCs, तो कोई भी line pick करके they can ask you कि you have to fill in with the correct preposition. So it looks easy, but a lot of time prepositions are very tricky. बहुत बार ऐसे होता है कि बहुत हम बेसिक prepositions में हमारी गलती हो जाती है just because we don't know, हम पूरी तरह aware नहीं होते कि कहाँ पे क्या आना चाहिए, कैसे आना चाहिए. So in my this session I am going to tell you सारे prepositions का कि कैसे actually I have covered maximum कि कौन सा preposition कहाँ पे आना चाहिए. So please let's start doing it. So सबसे पहले तो definition देखते हैं preposition की. A preposition is a word which is used to link a noun or a pronoun with other words. They provide relationship between noun and other words. Example in, on, at, under. So as you can see in the diagram also, जो noun को जो अदर वर्ड से लिंक करता है, अदर वर्ड कोई भी नाउन हो सकता है, वर्ब हो सकता है, एडजेक्टिव हो सकता है, तो वो नाउन को जो दूसरे नाउन से या वर्ब से लिंक करता है, जो लिंकिंग वर्ड है, वो है हमारा preposition. वो रिलेशनशिप बताता है नाउन की दूसरे वर्ड से. So that is called a preposition. For example, a very simple sentence is written here. The book is on the table. So in this sentence, book को और टेबल के ऊपर बुक रखी हुई है. सिंपल, दिस इज अ वेरी सिंपल सेंटेंस. तो बुक को विच इज द नाउन और टेबल जो कि नाउन है, उन दोनों को लिंक कर रहा है ऑन. इट इज टेलिंग व्हाट इज द रिलेशनशिप बिटवीन द टू वर्ड्स. बुक कहाँ पर है? बुक टेबल के ऊपर है. सो दिस इज preposition. Now preposition of place and direction. Now let's see what is this. Preposition of place shows the relationship of place between the noun to other parts of sentence. तो जो preposition of place होता है, that shows relationship of place. वो place का बताता है relation noun को दूसरे parts of sentence से. जैसे कि बहुत सारे examples हैं and I'm sure आपने सारे सुने होंगे. On, in, at, under, below, up, down, across, behind, between. So all these are very commonly used prepositions. अब हम specifically सबके बारे में पढ़ेंगे कि हम ये सब कैसे कहाँ पे जनरली इनको यूज किया जाता है इन नॉर्मल सर्कमस्टांसेस. सो सबसे पहले इन, विच इज वेरी वेरी कॉमन. हमारा कोई भी वर्ड हो, कोई भी सेंटेंस हो, वी डेफिनेटली यूज इन. सो लेट्स सी कहाँ पे इन जनरली प्लेसेस ऑफ डायरेक्शन के कंटेक्स्ट में कहाँ यूज होता है. We use in with names of cities, villages, streets or towns. We use in when we are talking about an area. So whenever we are talking about a name, specifically we're talking about a name of a city or a village, street, town, or we are talking about an area, then with these things we always use in. Example, we stayed in Mumbai for 5 days. So Mumbai is a name of a city, so we are using in. How long have you lived in this village? So we are talking about the village, so we have used in. He lives in Church Street. So we are talking about a street, there's a name given of a street, so we are using in. Next is at. At is also very common. We use at to talk about group activities in shops, workplaces. At is used in house numbers too. So whenever we are talking about a group activity is going on, or we are talking about a shop or a workplace, or in house numbers, in all these things we always use at. For example, did you see Kiran at the party? So we are talking about a gathering, a group activity. Party is a group activity. So we are using at. I saw him at the baker's. So baker's is a workplace, is a shop. So that is at. There were not many people at the meeting. So meeting is a workplace, or you can say it is a lot of thing at. He lives at 45 Church Street. So a house number, a particular house number is given here. That is why we are using at. The next is on. On is also very common. We use on to refer to a position on any surface to specific day and dates. So we use on generally हम तब use करते हैं जब हम कोई specific position के बारे में refer कर रहे हैं, किसी भी surface पे कोई हो, कोई चीज हो, या to specify or when there are specific days or dates. जैसे कि the dog is lying on the floor. So the जो dog है वो floor पे लेटा हुआ है. Put this picture on the. All right, my brother is coming on Monday. So this is now a specific day. A specific day has been given. So that is why we are using on. We are having a party on 4th July. So a specific date is being given. So that is where we are using on. Next is above. Above indicates much higher position than preposition on does. तो on से भी जो थोड़ा higher होता है, जो ऊपर होता है, जब हम और थोड़ा सा और higher चीज के बारे में बात कर रहे होते हैं, then we use above. The sky is above my head. See, it's way ahead. It's way above my head. Stars are above the sky. All right. Next is over. Over means a position between on and above which is not touching. So on or above के बीच में there is over. All right. So over is slightly lower than above and slightly higher than on. For example, there are clouds over the hills. Clouds जो हैं वो hills पे हैं. A bird flew over my head. मेरे ऊपर से निकल के गई. So somebody who's not touching, but it's up. My flat is over that shop. Next, under. Under means below the surface of something. कोई चीज below the surface हो, नीचे हो. The cat is under the table. The cat is below the table. The carpet under my feet is very soft. जो carpet मेरी feet के नीचे है वो बहुत soft है. That book is under my glasses. So this is under. It means below the surface of something. Next is below. अब जब हम particularly below को mention कर रहे हैं, ये under से भी थोड़ी lower position हो गई, slightly lower position than what under indicates. For example, I have a scar below my left eye. Please don't write below this line. So below is slightly lower than under. Now next is to. To indicates a motion in a direction of a place. कि किसी तरफ आप जब आप जा रहे हो तो generally हम to use करते हैं. He went to the college means वो college की तरफ जा रहा है. We are going to Mexico. तो हम Mexico की तरफ जा रहे हैं. We walked from the farm to the beach. Farm से हम लोग beach की तरफ जा रहे हैं. So basically to is used to indicate a motion in direction of a place. Next is from. From indicates the point from which the journey or action starts. तो from हम तब यूज करते हैं जब कोई journey या कोई action start होता है, initiate होता है, तब हम from यूज करते हैं. For example, he came from England, he drove here from Atlanta. So मतलब इन सब जगह, इन सब sentences में his journey, his action started from this place. Into indicates a motion towards or going inside something. Into is जब आप किसी चीज के अंदर जा रहे हो, that is into. He came into the house, he entered into the house, he came inside the house. The police broke into the bar, the police broke inside the bar. Means into is a position to go inside something. Next is out of. तो into और out of completely opposites हैं. Into का मतलब होता है inside जाना, out of is completely outside. Out of is opposite of into. It means a motion towards outside of something. तो किसी चीज से बाहर जाना, totally outside जाना, that is out of. Get out of my house means go outside of my house. He's going out of town. तो वो बाहर जाए town से. Next is through. Through generally हम तब use करते हैं. Through indicates a motion in the middle of something. When you are somewhere in the middle, जब आप बीच में कहीं जा रहे हो, आप कहीं जगह जा रहे हो और आप उसके बीचों बीच हो, that is you are going through it. We drove through the tunnel. तो हम tunnel के बीचों बीच से निकले. They came through the forest. They came in the middle of the forest. That is through. Across. Across means going to the other side of a river or road or something straight. Across का मतलब होता है when you are going, you are crossing it. Across, you are crossing a place, you are going to other side of a river or a road or something straight. और आप सीधा जा रहे हो या दूसरी साइड जा रिवर के, दूसरी साइड जा रहे हो रोड के, तब हम across यूज करते हैं. Example, he went across the river, I walked across the road. That means he went to the other side of the river, he walked across the road, he walked to the other side of the road. Next is in front of. In front of means a position of facing someone or something. In front of means ekdam samne. Something which you can see, which you can face something. There's something which is in front of you. He parked his car in front of my house. So he parked his car facing my house. I have a pool in front of my farmhouse. So that is in front of. बिल्कुल जो आप कोई चीज आप जब आप फेस कर सकते हो या किसी इंसान को या किसी चीज को जब आप फेस करते हो, वो position that is called in front of. Next is behind. So behind is totally opposite of in front of. Behind is something far aside, something which you cannot see, which is not in front of you. It is opposite of in front of. It means far side of something, means kahin dur hona. Example, he parked his car behind my car. So he parked his car kahin dur, far side of something. I have a pool behind my house. I have a pool जो कि मेरे घर से काफी दूर है, थोड़ा सा दूसरी साइड है. That is behind. Next is up, down. Up means a motion towards a higher place or position. So up generally means when you are ascending, when you are going to a higher place or when you are going to a higher position, that is up. We are climbing up the mountains. That means we are ascending, we are climbing up, we are going up the mountains, we are gaining height. John is going up to London means वो और height पे, London में और height पे जा रहा है, going to a more going to places which are of higher altitude. Down means a motion towards a lower position or place. So down means when you are going, it's the opposite of up, which means जब आप descend कर रहे हो, you're going to a lower position. I'm climbing down the hill, I am descending, I'm going down. Go down the stairs, जब आप नीचे जा रहे हो किसी चीज के, that means down. Next is between. Between बहुत easy है, हम सबको ही पता होगा. Between का मतलब है कि when you're talking about something which is happening in between of two people or two things, then we use between. Particularly when two people are involved. Alex is sitting between Robin and Robert. This matter is between you and him. So when we are talking about two people or only the reference is given to two people, then we use between. Among. Among means something, to be in middle of three or more person of things. Basically among हम तब use करते हैं जब तीन या तीन से ज्यादा लोगों के बारे में बात की जा रही हो. दो लोगों की बात होती है तो हम between use करते हैं. थ्री या थ्री से ज्यादा person या things के बारे में when we talk, then we use among. He is best among them means as compared to all of them, he is best. Sam distributed his property among his three sons. So उसने Sam ने अपनी property अपने तीनों बच्चों, तीनों sons के पास बराबर बांटी, distribute करी. Till it is used of time. Basically time के reference में जब हम कोई चीज time से related हो तब हम till use करते हैं. Example, he slept till 8 o'clock. So here a particular time is given कि वो 8 बजे तक सोआ. So when there is a specific time given, we use till. She stayed there from dusk till dawn. So इस sentence में there is a reference कि उसने इतने से इतने तक हुआ. Dawn तक ही वो सोआ. So that is till. We use till here. Now with, by. With often denotes the instrument and by the agent. So basically with और by में with जब भी हम किसी instrument की बात हो रही हो, कोई भी instrument हो सकता है, तो हमेशा instruments के साथ we always use with. हमेशा कोई भी instrument हो उसके साथ with use किया जाता है. और जो उसे use कर रहा होता है, जो एजेंट होता है या जो उस इंस्ट्रूमेंट को यूज कर रहा होता है, we always use by. So by is always used by the agent and with is often denoted, always denoted by the instrument. For example, he killed 2 birds with 1 shot. तो इसने एक बार में 2 birds को मारा. So with. He was stabbed by a lunatic with a dagger. So in this sentence, the lunatic, the agent is been के साथ यूज हुआ है by, और जो इंस्ट्रूमेंट जो डैगर था जिससे मारा, जिससे स्टैब किया, वो जो इंस्ट्रूमेंट है उससे we have used with, उससे with हमने यूज किया. Next is for. For we use for when we measure. तो basically जब हम टाइम की बात कर रहे हो, चाहे वो सेकेंड्स में हो, मिनट्स में हो, आवर्स में हो, डेज में हो, मंथ्स में हो, ईयर्स में हो, तब हम for यूज करते हैं. Example, he held his breath for 7 minutes. ठीक है. So now here there is a specific time being mentioned. ठीक है. तो we are using for. She lived there for 3 years. वो 3 साल तक वहाँ रही. For. The British and the Irish have been quarreling for 7 centuries. तो 7 centuries के लिए British और Irish आपस में लड़ रहे थे. So now there is we are measuring a specific time. तो हमने क्या किया? Use for. Next is since. Since we use since with specific date or time. जब कोई specific time या date दे रखी होती है तब हम since use करते हैं. He's worked here since 1970. तो in particular उसने 1970 से यहाँ पे काम करना शुरू किया था. That is why we have used since. I have not been smoking since last week. Last week से, particularly last week से I have not been smoking. Third, he has been ill since last Monday. तो specifically since last Monday he has been ill. उसकी तबीयत last Monday से specifically he's been mentioning कि तब से खराब चल रही है. Beside and besides. So these are 2 words जिसमें कई बार confusion हो जाता है. भले ही इनमें बस दोनों की spelling में s लग रहा हो, लेकिन इनके words में बहुत ज़्यादा difference है. Beside means by the side of. Beside means कोई आपके बगल में कोई चीज हो. Beside, बिल्कुल बगल में. So example, beside the ungathered rice he lay. तो ungathered rice के बगल में वो लेट गया. He was there. Besides, in addition to. और besides का मतलब होता है और, मतलब in addition to. Besides his children, there were present his nieces and nephews. तो उसके बच्चों के अलावा उसके nieces और nephews भी वहाँ पे present थे. So not only his children, but his nieces and nephews were also present there. So this is a very major difference between beside and besides. Next is preposition with forms of transport. Generally forms of transport में कौन सा कब use करना चाहिए, it becomes very confusing. So अब मैं बताऊंगी by, we use by when we talk about the means of transport. तो by हम generally, अगर हम एक general means of transport की बारे में बात कर रहे हैं तो generally हम लोग हमेशा by use करते हैं. Example, we traveled by train. हमने ट्रेन से ट्रैवल किया. वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट अ जनरल मीन्स ऑफ ट्रांसपोर्ट. राजू वेंट टू ऑफिस बाय कार. तो बेसिकली कार कौन सी है? टैक्सी की कार है, उबर है, ओला है, वी डोंट नो. सो वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट अ जनरल मीन्स ऑफ ट्रांसपोर्ट. दैट इज व्हाई वी आर यूजिंग बाय. नेक्स्ट इज we do not use by when the reference is to a specific car, train, etc. लेकिन जब हम कोई specific कार की बात कर रहे हो या specific train की बात कर रहे हो तब हम लोग by नहीं use करते. जब वो particularly जब हम general में बात कर रहे हैं किसी means of transport की, then only we use by. Otherwise हम by use नहीं करते. We use on to mean a specific bicycle, bus, train, ship और plane. हम on तब use करते हैं जब हम एक specifically किसी bicycle की बात कर रहे हैं, किसी bus की बात कर रहे हैं, train की बात कर रहे हैं या ship की बात कर रहे हैं या plane की बात कर रहे हैं. Example, Suresh went on my bicycle. So in this sentence, my bicycle, we are talking about a specific bicycle. मेरी bicycle है, इस वजह से we are using on. अगर एक general bicycle की बात हो रही होती, कि random bicycle की बात कर रही होती, तो हम by use करते. But because in this sentence we are talking about a specific bicycle, that is why we are using on. I'll go on the 7:30 bus. मैं 7:30 वाली बस पे जाऊंगा. तो now specific bus have been mentioned कि इसी पे मुझे जाना है. That is why we are using on. Next is we use in to mean a specific car, taxi, van, lorry और ambulance. अब इन हम कब यूज करते हैं? जब हम किसी स्पेसिफिक कार की बात कर रहे हो, टैक्सी की बात कर रहे हो, वैन, लॉरी या एम्बुलेंस की बात कर रहे हो. तो इन केसेस में वी ऑलवेज यूज इन. वी ट्रैवल्ड इन मिस्टर जोशीज कार. हम मिस्टर जोशी की कार पे गए हैं. स्पेसिफिकली वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट मिस्टर जोशीज कार. दे केम इन अ टैक्सी. वो लोग एक टैक्सी में आए. We say on foot example. अब basically जब हम पैदल चलने के लिए हमेशा on use किया जाता है. He goes to office on foot. जैसे कि वो पैदल गया. तो हमेशा जब आप पैदल चल के कहीं जा रहे हो तो हमेशा we use on. So that's all for today. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for joining us and taking this session. And I particularly learned about this usage of by while traveling as a mode of transport. Thank you so much, ma'am. Tomorrow, kids, we will join again for a session on current affairs. And we will be discussing about art and culture, session 2, and the recent development around that particular area. Thank you so much.
Thank you.